All right, the Warriors New South Wales Cup team, they had another opportunity to try and seal the minor premiership for 2025. How would they get on? Well, the highlights today are brought to you by warriorsanonymous.co.nz. That's the online store where you can head to get all the streetwear for the whānau. Everyone's sorted there, men's, women's, kids, everybody. warriorsanonymous.co.nz. Now, the Warriors, they had a draw last week, so they're still on the unbeaten streak. But this week, up against the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs, the game got moved over to Leichhardt Oval. And before this game, the Dragons, St George Dragons, the only team who could catch them in the New South Wales Cup, had lost. So, it's all on the line here. If the Warriors win, they claim the minor premiership for the first time in the Warriors New South Wales Cup history. So, bit of history on the line here. Let's see how it goes. Warriors with the attack early, and they come across to the left with Moala Grant Taufa. He gets dragged into touch here. Good defence by the Doggies. And that would unfortunately be about the only involvement he'd have in this game. Graham Taufa, as he come off with an injury. The Bulldogs put on a bit of attack up the other end. The kick comes through. Well fielded there. Geronimo Doyle grabs the ball. And the Warriors survive the early raid from the Dogs, but they'll keep coming. Here's Toby Sexton. A couple of Gold Coast Titans halfbacks. Or former halfbacks at least playing in this one today. Sexton up against Tanner Boyd for the Warriors. They come to the left here. The tip-on comes out to Jonathan Sewer. And he's got a bit of room on the outside, but great defence. Look at the desperation from the men in blue getting across there as the Bulldogs come to the open side. They get it off to the number 10. This is big Leap Boy, Hot Boy, gets it away. And another offload here. Beautiful one there. To Jed Reardon. The number 12 goes over to get the first points of the game. 2 offloads on the replay. You'll see it coming up here. A little bit disjointed, but well played by Hot Boy. Got it away to his propping partner, Kurt Morin. And he fed it off there to Jed Reardon. Takes the first bite out of the scoreboard. 4 points to 0, becomes 6 with the kick. And more attack coming here. Leap Boy, Hot Boy. Having a great start to the game, the big front rower. Difficult to contain, and he'll play it back as the Bulldogs get 6 more. In fact, they get a penalty. So, they turn it over though, unfortunately. Away it comes back to Ed Cossey. And here goes Makaya Tafua with a little dart out of dummy half, and in support, look at this. Kalani going in the clear. He could go all the way here. The big fella going, gone. There he goes, under the posts. Loving that. He's been playing some fantastic footy in recent weeks especially. And he goes over to tie things up at 6. We'll see it on the WA replay. Sharp play from Makaya Tafua. Just had the defence and 6s and 7s there. Look at the speed. No one's really closing in on him here. Kalani with the little roll at the end. Yeah, happy about that one. 6-all. Here come the Bulldogs with some more attack as they feed it back to the try scorer, Jed Reardon, almost running out of the screen there. He plays it back, and they come across for Sexton with the short ball, and Leap Boy, Hot Boy, oh boy, he goes over to get the Bulldogs' second try. Looked like a settler play, but he just angled in nicely, the big Hot Boy. Played a couple of NRL games this year, and he goes in to get the second try. And some more attack coming up here for the Bulldogs. Sexton gets it out to Mitchell Woods, and here goes Reardon again, almost in space. But he gets wrapped up by the Warriors' back rowers there, going, and Fatialofa. Last tackle now. Woods puts in the grubber kick. And here's Ed Cossey. Gets barreled back into the end goal. So the Warriors will go short on the restart. The ball just bounces straight up into the hands there. Bunty Afua gives it off. And Geronimo goes for a little scoot into midfield. The Warriors end up taking possession and working their way out of their own area. Bulldogs will keep coming though. Here's a good run from Morin. Another one with plenty of NRL experience in this Bulldogs pack. He will eventually play it back now. And it comes across for Jack Todd. Oh, here he goes, Jack Todd. Another settler sort of play. And this time it was the back rower. Going in with the little scoot, bit of footwork, couple of napping defenders there. And he just found a way through there. Jack Todd, he's got the Mel Meninga armband on there almost as well. Bit of a throwback there, but the Dogs, they are on fire here. 18 points to 6, and they got more coming as well. Jed Reardon gets it on the outside, but it gets put down by the winger, Blake Wilson. The Warriors hang on there. Desperately trying to hang on. They get a penalty as well, moving upfield. Here comes Geronimo Doyle, trying to snipe around the edges. He plays it back for Darfur. Tanner Boyd in jersey 20. And the Warriors could have done with kicking game like this in the wet against the Bulldogs in the NRL grade. That gets taken back into the in goal by Wilson. The Warriors are there to wrap him up and force the restart. Here's big Toby Crosby, almost splits him himself. Tackled there by former Warrior Daniela Otogolo. Look at this for a charge. Jason Salalilo making a beeline for the try line. Nearly gets there too. They come across to the left. Tanner Boyd. Cleary with the little jink. Almost gets through. Wrapped up well there. Mitchell Woods hanging on. Couple of young guns going at it. As Tanner Boyd goes for a scoot as well. Gets upended. And plays it back to Setu 2. And Sel Salalilo. He's not done. He wants some more work. Near the line, plays it on the last. They come back left for Tanner Boyd to roll in the grubber kick. And Setu 2 dives on it to bring the Warriors back closer. Wonderfully worked movement in the end. A lot of pressure. And it just showed in the end. From the boot of Boyd. Just rolled it in. Deft little touch. Didn't really bounce too well. It kind of bounced up a little bit, but 2 was onto it. Patient enough to dot it down. And here's Tanner Boyd. Look at this for a kick. Curves it back in. And it's a 6-point ball game. 18 points to 12. Warriors getting into their work. And then this guy, Tanner. Here goes Tanner Boyd. Dropped this week sensationally in the lead up to the Bulldogs game in the NRL. Just showing what they've been missing there. It's Sel Salalilo again. Seems like he's taking every single hit up at the moment. Off the bench, providing all the energy. As they come across to Boyd, put another chip kick. The Bulldogs get across, and it'll come off them. Bulldogs will concede another set here, but the Warriors have only got about one play before the halftime hooter. So Ale runs up. Darfur goes for a dart, out to Cleary, and a cutout pass. Cuts out everybody. He goes into touch, that's halftime. 18 points to 12. Bulldogs leading this one. Big second half ahead. How's this one going to get on? Plenty of entertaining footy as Darfur takes off for one of his little trademark runs there. Wrapped up by Otogolo. As Cleary gives it off to Boyd. Inside to Toby Crosby. We've had a bit of rain in Sydney lately. Didn't predict a hurricane. Hurricane Crosby, category 5. Goes straight in. Out of nothing. Similar to the Bulldogs tries in the first half. Just looked like a little settler on the in ball there. And look at the leg drive, the big fella. Just too big, too strong. Get out of my way. Goes all Hulk on it. And gets the Warriors back to even Stevens. 18 points all. It's Tom Ale. He wants a bit of a crack as well. Come across to Tanner Boyd on the left-hand side. Cleary. Out to Setu 2, who slotted into the left centre spot there, taking over from Moala Grand Taufa. And Cleary looking, scheming, stepping, almost getting through too. And they just grab him around the ankles. Good quick play of the ball low, and out it comes to Geronimo Doyle. He throws a little dummy, and he goes in for the try as well. Warriors get their first lead of the game. Warrior Nation supporters in the background loving that one. Let's have a look at it. It was a quick play of the ball from Cleary, and across it came. Boyd held up the pass, and there was Doyle. Had 2 runners on the outside. The defenders were disappearing at a fast rate of knots. He goes over. Boys in the background loving that one. As Makai Darfur, he gets it out to Tanner Boyd. Look at this for a run. Here he goes. Tries to find going on the inside. Probably a good hold in the end. The Bulldogs, they do wrestle him away, and the ball comes free. A bit of a mess in the end, starting to look a bit like Aussie rules. But we move forward as the Bulldogs, trailing by 4 all of a sudden. Looking to try and get some momentum back as Otogolo gives it off to Mitchell Woods. And here's another former Warrior, Big Zion Maiu'u. Takes it into contact. Plays it back now to Otogolo. Woods. Here's Woods anyway, the number 7 jumper. Plays it on the last as they come across, and Sexton will send it high. Not a really attacking kick, but it comes up good here for Blake Wilson. Bit of broken defence there. The Warriors claiming maybe he might have put a foot in touch, but they clocked off out there, and this kick landed probably about 8 metres out from the line here, but Wilson just caught it. The little shimmy fends away from one and goes over in the corner. We're locked back up at 22s, and a great kick as well. Would send the Bulldogs into the lead. This is almost a great kick as well in general play. Geronimo Doyle pinned back near his own goal line. Kurt Moran getting up there, the front rower. He's leading the charge as the Dogs try to swing the momentum. This will help it as well, because Ed Cossey, he pops the ball out. Probably wasn't on there, and the Bulldogs will take possession. Can they make the most of this opportunity? Couple of tackles later, they come out. Todd gives it off to Sexton. Woods with the cutout pass, and here's Jonathan Sewer. Ducks under a high one and goes over. Knows his way to the try line. Does Jonathan Sewer for the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs, and they would extend the lead. Have a look at it on the replay. Nice shape in attack here. Jack Todd gave it off to Sexton, both the halves involved, and then the cutout pass. He picked the lock there, did Mitchell Woods. He's a real up-and-comer, this kid. A lot of talk about him. And Sewer went over to finish the job, and have a look at this for a kick. These former Gold Coast halfbacks are doing a job. Kicks it in off the post, and over it goes. So they're up by 8 points, heading into the final quarter. Warriors going a little bit of tit for tat here. Long kick down, picked up by Tay Cochran, the fullback, and he throws a bit of a crazy offload as well. And the penalty would come to the Warriors. They'll get an opportunity to try and bring things back closer. Here's Bunty Afoa. Played back to Darfur. They come left to Tanner Boyd, out to Cleary. And a pop pass from Setu 2 out into the hands of Siokali. Look at this. Rumbles over in the corner. Siokali knows how to finish. The road looked like it might have been blocked there at the end, but he still just had the strength to just push his way over. Let's have a look at it again. Nice play here from Cleary in 2. Beautiful pop pass there. Just had to check his run slightly to Garley, but he just went straight over the fullback and decided he was going to go all the way. No one was going to stop him. And now have a look at this. Anything you can do, I can do better. Doink! Straight off the up. Well, not the upright. Straight off the crossbar. Bounces in. And the Warriors come back to a 2-point ball game. What's going on here at Leichhardt Oval? Madness. Big kick here coming up from Boyd. Sends it down to Cochran. Manages to wriggle his way into the field of play there. So the Warriors trying to D up. Right up in the face now of the Bulldogs. Look at this. Getting involved. 3 tacklers. Trying to restrict the meters for the Doggies. And they're holding them back here. 3 tackles inside their own 10. But the Dogs would get a penalty. Move their way upfield. Here's Daniela Otokolo shrugging away. Got a try against the Warriors in the last matchup between these two teams. Played back now. Across it comes for Sexton. Looking for a runner. There's Hot Boy. Didn't get a real hit of steam up on that one. Sexton. Short ball this time. And a great cover tackle there. 1-on-1. Tanner Boyd just held strong. And they come across on the last tackle with the kick into the hands of Bunty Afoa. Bunty gets across. Great cover play. But the Bulldogs, they're on a roll here. And they got all the pressure. They keep attacking in the sunshine. You wouldn't believe it was the same day the NRL team and NRLW teams played. But here they come again, the Bulldogs. Played back to Joseph O'Neill. And he goes out to Sexton. Puts in the little grubber kick. Tanner Boyd's seen that one at Gold Coast Titans training before though. He gets the foot in the way. He turns it over. Now a couple of tackles later. Out it comes to Setu 2. And he gets the arms free to this guy. Siokali beats the fullback. And now he's in the clear. Has he got the speed to go all the way? The wingers are coming at him. But he's going to have too much juice. Under the posts. What a play. 72nd minute. Siokali explodes for a long-range try. And the Warriors jump back in front here. The minor premiership could be on. Let's have a look at it on the WA replay. What a play this is. Setu 2 got the offload away. And here's Garley with the The sizzle, the footwork on the inside, the speed to outstrip the defender, and then he just bisects. Great word that one, bisects. The defenders, the wingers coming across. They couldn't bring him in. Warriors will go ahead, 34 points to 30. With only a few minutes to go here, the Dogs, they'll chuck it wide. Here we go. Here's a chance on the outside. Jonathan Saw. In space, puts in the kick. The Chasers, they're queuing up here. But look out, here he is. Category 5 again. Hurricane Crosby could do something here. Look out. The defence gets across. Could have done some real damage there. Katobi, we've seen him do that before. We're down to the last play. Here come the Bulldogs. They'll go again. Down by 4. And out it comes into the hands of Jonathan Saw. This time he's wrapped up by Kossi. A bit of a slow play of the ball there. And that will be full time. Warriors hang on. 34 points to 30. Next week, they head over to take on the Penrith Panthers over at St Mary's League Stadium. That's a good one. Coming up next Saturday, catch that on Bar TV Sports, and we'll have the highlights for you right here, of course. Right here on Warriors and Honours. But of course, got to give it up. History has been made here. The Warriors, 2025 minor premiers in the New South Wales Cup. First time ever. Congrats, boys. Another one on the way, hopefully. Go for the big one, the premiership. We'll catch up next time on Warriors Anonymous. Up the wires and go the Warriors!